In this last segment of the first session here, we're going to get into a little bit of chord playing, and that's probably what most people are interested in doing on the guitar. But as we demonstrated in the last segment, that there's a lot of single string work that is important to get started on in the beginning also. And I think we'd start off by having to define a chord as a group of notes played at the same time. However, we really wouldn't say that that would be a chord. Perhaps some avant-garde jazz players might think that to be a chord, but most of us would say that there needs to be a condition there, that it's a group of notes played at the same time that create harmony. And harmony is one of those musical words that basically means that the notes are getting along with each other, just like we would say children are playing in harmony when they're getting along. And so that's the caveat. That's a very important part of playing chords. So, that being said, we're going to start off with one chord that some of you may have seen before. I'm going to zoom in on it here. It's on a sheet that I've gotten prepared here. And it's an E chord. Now, as you see, I have 3 fingers on different strings of the guitar. Your first finger is going to be in the first fret on the G string. Second finger is going to be on the A string in the second fret. And your third finger will be also in the second fret on the D string. It's a little tricky to get 2 fingers in that same fret and have them be close to the fret bar. Remember, you want to have them as close to the high side of the fret. But when you do that, you will get the sound of an E chord, which will be a pleasant sound. And we're going to do a few things with that chord. It should sound like this. I'll zoom in on my fingers so you can see exactly what I'm doing. I've got 3 fingers. My first finger is there on G in the first fret. My second finger is in the second fret on the A. My third finger right underneath it on the D string. My pinky is just out there. It's not really doing anything. Now my thumb is either going to be behind the neck or it can be reaching over the top a little bit, but you definitely want to be trying to get pressure between your fingers and your thumb. So that's going to be the sound of an E chord. Now, we're going to take that same chord and we're going to move it to different positions on the neck. As I zoom in on this here, you'll see that we take that chord and move it from being in the first fret, which is where it is right here. That's how we just played it. And I'm saying that we're in the first fret because that's where your first finger is located. Then we're going to move it up the neck to where it's in the 6th fret. And what that means is that your first finger, index finger, is now in the 6th fret. So your other 2 fingers are in the 7th. And then the third position, we move it up to the 8th fret, where your index finger is now in the 8th fret. Now I will play these chords in succession like this, so that you can hear how they sound when I move them around to different positions. I'll have to back out a ways here. Let's see how this sounds. That's in the first fret. There's in the 6th fret. And here is the 8th fret. Back to the 6th. And to the 1st. Do that again, and I'm going to do it without talking, and I will play strum 4 times in each position and listen to how the sound of that same chord form changes. Zoom in on my hands a little bit here so that you can see my hands moving on the neck. So here I am in the 1st fret, 6th fret, 8th fret, back to 6, and back to 1. Now that squeaking sound that you hear is perfectly normal. You will hear that more when you're a beginner. If I play it without having to be so careful of what I'm doing, you'll hear that the squeakiness goes away. So that will be a goal to get to where it doesn't squeak quite so much. But right now, it's difficult to keep your fingers in that position in relation to each other. So if you keep them on the strings, resting on the strings as you move up and down the neck, that's where the squeaking comes from. So don't be alarmed about that. Just kind of get used to holding your fingers in that position and making them move together and keep it as smooth as you can. So I'm going to end this little clip here by playing something that you probably will all recognize using those same 3 chord positions.